So, over the last few days, we've actually been inundated with a lot of coverage of the gaming industry, mostly because of layoffs, but probably because of a particular source that's been driving this for quite some time. And since the gaming studios themselves are often resistant to change, it usually takes a decision from top level management to bring in some outside influence. And in this case, it's basically bankrupted, or, well, bankrupt is not the right word. It's destroyed the gaming industry. Yeah, that sounds a little like hyperbole, and it might be, but if you look at what has happened to sales and in turn jobs, as far as gaming is concerned, well, I think you only have a pretty straightforward path to follow to figure out why. And I'm going to walk you through it. So let's get right into it. And first, we'll stop at the fact that, oh, hey, I actually have my own brand. I sponsor myself. I don't have any commercials outside of what is put on whatever platform I'm on, at least not yet. And when I do, hey, I'll let you know. And if I don't actually use something, I probably won't talk about it. But I do use my own gear at beachpunk.us. In fact, I'm wearing it right now. So do check out the website. Lots of stuff there to choose from. Of course, it's not just hats and shirts and sweatshirts, not just mugs, not just water bottles, but a whole plethora of items there. Speaking of which, let's get started on things that there's not a plethora of, well, good quality video gaming. Oh boy, there is such a dearth of quality games in the gaming industry right now. I can preach. It's so bad that they actually go back and remake games, and yet they still don't even do that right. They remake the game and they insert a bunch of garbage into it to deal with modern audiences. And by the way, that's a term that doesn't exist. There are no quote unquote modern audiences out there because you're not competing with what you made before. In fact, you don't even attempt. You continue to regurgitate the same cheese whiz that nobody wanted out of the can the first time. Anyway, another quick reminder, I do a live show every weekday called the 6-Minute Daily. It usually covers somewhere between 16 and 22 stories, all in that 6-minute period, although the show lasts about 12. So go figure. Most of that's just saying hi to you and thanking you for your participation. Speaking of thank you for participation, please, in addition to hitting the like button, let's go ahead and make a comment down below if you agree or disagree or have other thoughts on anything we talk about today. Now, let's get to this article. What's driving the flood of layoffs in the video game industry? Well, we already know. Lack of interest. They're not producing high quality games anymore. Let's be honest about that. They continue to expand their development studio sizes and, in turn, everybody else that they work with, but they don't improve or expand the quality of their games or the breadth of their games either. In fact, one of the worst studios at this right now is Ubisoft, and as you'll find out, they've been corrupted as well. But obviously, EA led the charge on some of these, amongst others, including Sony. But we're going to get into all of this. So what's driving the industry? Well, spike in interest rates? I don't think that's it, Chris Morris. Let's re-roll. Let's take a look at some Yahoo coverage. Right now, if you look at the total volume of layoffs, you're looking at 10,500 in all of 2023, and already just barely 2 months in, just starting the third month into 2024, you have 7,800 people that are no longer where they used to be. And while this could be a fact of overhiring, rapid expansion at a time when you didn't need it, and a lot of other reasons to meet given quotas that have been imposed by your corporate overlords, well, maybe this speaks to a lot of what's going on there now. But some 7,800 employees have been let go across Microsoft, Sony, Unity, Riot, and many, many more. In fact, we'll get to those many, many more. And I have a feeling that after Rockstar completes just enough of whatever they're working on now as far as GTA 6 goes, they're going to be getting rid of some more. In fact, they've already kind of set the table for that with a return to work order, I believe. I've recently heard. But as you look, Sega of America layoffs are already leading the giant to outsource localization. Thank goodness, because at least they won't be changing the commentary that are in the games to be more inclusive, which is wrecking these games. They're going to be cutting a lot of jobs. Microsoft 1,900, as we mentioned before, EA 650, and so on and so on. But Sega of America is going to let go 61, they call them temp workers that are on fixed contracts that do localization. I think Clownfish would be happy to hear that, and probably you would too. Let's move on. We've got Final Fantasy VII. Well, it's not having a great time, according to Polygon. Games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth aren't sustainable, and the layoffs prove it. No, it's the fact that they've rebirthed all of the Final Fantasies that anybody could possibly be interested in, and they're just trying to regurgitate the same gameplay to make money instead of making something new. I have a feeling that we are going to ignore that part in any of these articles. And again, this is Polygon, so they're going to toe the line. This is why Sony's failing, not because they're making garbage-tastic material. Well, Supermassive just cut staff by over 90. This is something that the studio is, well, not really going to benefit from. It's not a huge studio to begin with, despite its name. Then you have Deck 9 Games cutting 20% of its staff because of worsening market conditions. What are those conditions? Well, we want you to produce good material, and we want you to do it regularly. And we don't want any of the noise that's involved in any of this. I wonder if Sophie McAvoy over at, gamesindustry.biz actually knows any of that. But 30 employees are going to be gone from Deck 9. That's the 20%. Not a big studio. They have to cut back. So does Cloud Imperium. They happen to be developing Star Citizen and many other things. So you're going to start seeing more and more of these things hit the industry on a broader scope. Why? Well, people are not investing in games anymore, especially if the games aren't doing anything. Again, you can think what you want about Star Citizen. It always seems to be developing. That's true. It takes some horsepower to operate it fully, get the massive benefits out of it that you want. But is it worth it to the customer in the end? And is there a bunch of junk that's inserted into it that nobody wants? Well, I haven't played Star Citizen in over a year, so I wouldn't even begin to be able to tell you. But I know this. Wildlife Studios has to cut 21% of its staff, so that's 133 employees. This is the third consecutive year of job cuts, and this is a mobile gaming studio. So, yeah, wow. I know that Radical Forge is going to lay off a handful of staff. They've got to get rid of some employees for minor restructuring. At least that's the reason that they're putting out there. That's 6 people. Again, it's not a massive size studio, but they're going to lose some bodies. I wonder where those are coming from. And of course, we've got Sony laying off 900 people. And this is also from gamesindustry.biz. This is a very telling thing. A lot of these studios are already involved with one entity that's really been driving the quality of their product down. And you can look for it. The hints are out there. In fact, there's even groups out there. Now, you have, of course, NeoGAF out there, and something a lot of you have already seen, courtesy of Niche Gamer, basically breaking it down, and the fact that there is now a group of people, a curator group of people that are essentially talking about all of the things that are being shifted to account for modern audiences. That is baloney sausage. You've got writing, cinematics, dialogue, all this other stuff that they get involved in. Narrative, story pitches, world building, character creation, narrative design, story feedback, and tweaks and more. Representation, cultural consultation, sensitivity, and inclusivity reading. They're basically making sure you have right think, folks. And risk and opportunities, amusement, and more. Well, nobody is being very amused by anything that you're contributing to. Full-scale game development and interactive fiction. Yes, that's exactly what I want from a neo-Marxist group. No. But here's the group from Steam that we do seem to be, well, getting a lot of attention, paid to it, I should say. They've been doing rather well. And what you're looking at now is something that I clipped myself just a few days ago. Wanted to do that on purpose to see how quickly this would grow once the stories started to break on all of the other channels that probably you follow also, like That Park Place, WW Pro, and many more, including my buddy, Mr. H Reviews. Well, the group grew pretty substantially in just a few hours, it seems. And right now we're sitting at 28,972. A lot of these people are currently playing games. 14,000 of them are online as we speak at this moment. And there are 2,100 comments in here already. This group's going to get bigger. Why? Because all they do is put Sweet Baby Ink detected. SBI detected. Why? Well, because that's a sign of garbage. Because the people at Sweet Baby Ink make garbage. This is their website right here. You don't have to go to that group. You can go right to their own very own website, founded in 2018, based in Montreal and working around the globe. And the persons responsible for this are, well, not anybody I would consider listening to. I don't know about you. But as you scroll down through here, they're working on writing, narrative, representation, and development. Nowhere in there is it say high-quality gaming, good story. No, all they're going to do is insert their politics. They are new, and marginalized talent can change the industry if given the proper support. We're going to force this down your throat. Look at this, Alan Wake 2. Well, that was a game they helped with. Sable, that was a game. Battle Shapers. Spider-Man 2, you wondered why the tone was different? God of War, wondered why that tone was different. Usual Jude, I have no idea what this is. But they do an awful lot, and here are their clients. They brag about this. This is where gamers are going to draw the line. They're going to draw the line on Xbox Game Studios, believe it or not, especially after you see more of that garbage coming out of there. Electronic Arts. Well, didn't they just have layoffs? Yes, they did. Wait, Xbox, Microsoft, didn't they just have layoffs? Yes, a couple reasons for that. I'm not going to say it's because of the games. It's also because they took in a bunch of other people and they didn't really need them. Valve, that's surprising and kind of terrifying. Let's see, who is this? This is, I have no idea. We've got Santa Monica Studio. That's not good. 2K. Oh, no. And then, remember I mentioned them earlier, Ubisoft. Ubisoft's games have been turning into trash. What do you expect out of the next Ubisoft game? What did you see recently coming out of Ubisoft? Was that a winner? Was it? I don't think so. Kind of went back. It went backwards from a game that was developed eons ago, right? At least as far as most of it is concerned. Square Enix, of course, we just talked about that. Warner Brothers, hey, how'd that Suicide Squad thing go? Oh, wait, that was Warner Brothers and Rocksteady, who were both on here. I could go through all of